what I missed when I was younger and fully just entrenched in business and had all these employees and everything. I didn't prioritize how much my health and my well-being was tactically an amazing investment into my business, right? Everything else fell to the wayside, and I still suffer with that. You know, to me, I can go laser focused and forget about everything and everyone around me. And then I reach a point where I'm like deprived of social outings, deprived of you know, kicking back with the boys, and then it kind of just reaches a boiling point that then I have to go and completely just like backtrack and build it, you know, all at once. So I totally agree. I think, you know, the examples of kids going to college and then after that, you know, they continue their binge drinking lifestyle and drugs and no, you know, nothing to offer to the world, no skills, nothing to offer a woman. I think those people will end up regretting that big time. Specifically here in South Florida and maybe New York, going out is a form of business. You're meeting people, you're connecting the network that you were talking about. And just overall well-being. I know I struggle with that, prioritizing that as much as I prioritize business. And I think tactically it's a mistake, and it's something that I've had to pay for many times with health and mental health.
But you are very successful in life, in your journey. You're what, 24?
24.
You've done things 24s can only dream of. You've done things by 24 that 40-year-olds are doing. You've made 5 figures per month at what, 20? You know, you're in great shape. You have an amazing relationship. When it comes to society and becoming a young man, what are some lies that society has told us that has good intentions but has had a poisonous effect?
To enjoy your youth.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's something that society has told us through our parents, through social media, through, you know, work, through friends, is that you're a kid and be a kid.
Oh.
And that's because, and it goes back to what we were talking about before with that instant gratification. It feels good, dude. It feels good to just go chase chicks. It feels good to do drugs. It feels good to drink. It feels good to focus on the here and now, with no foresight into what it's going to impact, you know, in your future. And I think as men, especially as young guys, it sets you up for a life of playing catch up. And in my opinion, it's one of the biggest things that we tell like people our age that they'll have to pay for in the future. Well, what are your thoughts? What are some lies you feel like we're being told?
A lie that we're told when it comes to health and wellness: breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Interesting.
I like to intermittent fast. And not only that, if you look at typically our breakfast food, Edmonton's donuts, powdered donuts, Fruit Loops. Now, don't get me wrong, Fruit Loops are delicious, but that should be a dessert, not a breakfast. We're fueling our youth on Fruity Pebbles. That's just sugar crystals. So then, you know, their blood insulin and blood sugar spikes, then they crash, then they have no energy, no attention, and then they can't concentrate in school. So, it's because he has ADHD, prescribe him Vyvanse, Adderall.
Right.
Then they're on drugs, they're on methamphetamine, rebranded methamphetamine. I think that's a big thing. And I like the intermittent fasting. I don't do it every day, but 80% of the time I intermittent fast, because when you're not eating, your body cannibalizes body fat. You burn fat when you're not eating. So be intuitive with it. I work with the godfather of health and wellness, Mark Sisson, and he talks about intuitive eating. So when you're hungry, eat. You don't need to count calories. Like, get protein, eat a high protein diet. But yeah, I think breakfast is the most important meal of the day is a scam. When you don't eat in the morning, let your body repair itself and burn fat.
Yeah, I like that. You ever heard of Jesse Osler?
Jesse Osler, that sounds familiar.
He's married to the woman who started Spanx.
Oh, Jesse Itzler.
Itzler.
Yeah, I love him, bro.
Jesse Itzler is a friend from Dallas.
Yeah.
So you've heard of Jesse Itzler?
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah. So he spoke about it. He read a book in the 90s that spoke about only eating fruit until noon.
Yeah.
And it's this couple who wrote this book, and he decided to give it a try. And he said he just felt unbelievable from it, and for the last 35 years or so, he's only been eating fruit until 12.
Wow.
And I think diet, yeah, you're right. Diet is something here in the U.S. is, and that's part of it. Just goes back to like escaping the matrix, right?
Yep.
Nutella was like, was touted as a good breakfast food. I mean, pure sugar just on and people just believe that.
Yeah.
You go to Europe, and man, like you just don't really see fat people.
Yep.
You don't really see obese people walking around. And their relationship to food is completely different than what we have here. The amount of ingredients that are legally allowed in cereal or meat or McDonald's or any of the sort is completely restricted, and a lot of the things that we eat here are punishable by jail if they in Europe. And so I would agree, and I think that goes to gut our gut health as well.
Yep.
Which controls everything. And so most of the health issues just comes from that. But again, just look at the matrix. Like, I think and not to segue into a completely different topic, but Trump, one of the things I love most about him and what he did with politics is he pulled back the veil.
Yeah.
And that, dude, was so overdue for someone to pull back the curtains.
Yep.
And for you to understand that it's all just a system designed to profit off of you at no matter the cost, right? And so when you look at the food as well, with cereal, the guy who created Kellogg's,
Yep.
and how he basically started that whole cereal is a good source of for breakfast. And so cereal, all the meats that we eat here, all the fats, and how they tell you not to eat butter, not to eat salt, not to eat meat. You basically do everything opposite of what they tell you to do, and you'll live a pretty healthy life.